This is the so-called Phaistos Disk. This fired clay disk, about 16 centimeters across and 1.5 centimeters thick, was found at the Minoan Palace of Phaistos in 1908. Both faces bear a spiral of stamped pictograms, small images of humans, animals, plants and tools, arranged in groups. The disk dates to the Middle Minoan period, roughly 1800 to 1600 BC, but its spiral text has never been deciphered. In July 1908, the Italian archaeologist Luigi Pernia was excavating an underground temple depository at Phaistos, which is located in southern Crete, when he came upon a layer of ash and charred bones. Half buried in that deposit, he found a fired clay disk inscribed on both sides with symbols pressed into the soft clay. Pernia recovered the intact disk and saw that each side had a spiral band of images. The find was associated with a linear A tablet in the same deposit, suggesting a Middle Minoan context. Archaeologists date the disk to about the 18th or 17th century BC. Controversy followed. Its pristine condition prompted one antiques dealer to claim Pernia himself had forged the disk. However, experts found multiple signs of authenticity. It was found alongside a genuine linear A tablet, which you can see here. Today, most scholars accept the disk as a genuine Minoan artifact, and it is displayed in the Heraklion Museum on Crete. Both faces are inscribed in a clockwise spiral from rim to center. All 241 characters were stamped into the clay with individual molds or seals rather than written by hand. The 241 impressions consist of 45 different pictographic signs. The symbols are grouped into panels or boxes, each containing 2 to 5 images. In total, there are 61 such sign groups. The pattern looks like words or phrases spiraling inward. The pictograms depict human figures, often stylized or armed, animals, plants, and everyday objects. For example, scholars note figures wearing feathered helmets or carrying round shields, a woman with exposed breasts, and a tattooed head, reminiscent of Minoan or Eastern Mediterranean iconography. Other symbols show a dove, a bee and hive, a cat, a goat, a vase, a daisy, a vine, a fish, a boat, tools and architectural motifs. In short, the disk's words look like little vignettes from Bronze Age life. The disk was made during the zenith of the Minoan civilization, the Bronze Age culture of Crete. Minoans built large palaces, for example, at Knossos and Phaistos, engaged in wide trade, and left rich artwork, like frescoes, seals, pottery. Because it lay in a sealed Middle Minoan deposit, most datings place the disk in the 18th to 17th century BC. This was the period when Minoan palaces flourished and the first writing arose on Crete. After about 1450 BC, the palaces fell and Minoan culture was absorbed into Mycenaean Greek influence. The Phaistos disk predates that Mycenaean takeover and was likely meant for a Minoan audience. Many experts assume the symbols form an inscription, likely a syllabary like other Bronze Age Aegean scripts. In other words, each symbol would represent a syllable, or sometimes an entire word. The evidence is slim, but the grouping of symbols suggests linguistic structure. The 45 signs roughly match the size of known syllabaries. Proposed languages span a wide range. Some 20th century scholars even tried to read it as Greek or an Anatolian language. In recent decades, one of the most publicized attempts was by linguist Gareth Owens, who claimed the text is a prayer to a Minoan mother goddess. Other linguists have floated Luwian, Hittite, or other Near Eastern languages. None of these proposals is accepted by mainstream experts, who note that the disk symbols appear nowhere else, beyond a couple of similar seals, and that many decipherments rely on guesswork. Theories of purpose include calendars or charts. For instance, the spiral layout and repetitive symbols have led some to suggest it was a lunar-solar calendar or eclipse table. Others liken it to a board game or magic object, for example, a snakes and ladders, style game, or a ritual text to be recited during ceremonies. For lack of context, the disk's function is still hotly debated. A few skeptics once called the disk a modern forgery. But the archaeological evidence argues otherwise. It was found in situ under many inches of debris, alongside other Minoan pottery and a linear A tablet, and it shows signs of a genuine scribal process. Moreover, archaeologists have since found other artifacts, pottery fragments, even a gold ring at Knossos, bearing similar stamped symbols and spiral motifs. These parallels make a modern hoax unlikely. Today most scholars accept the disk as a real Bronze Age object, though a few still urge caution. A common refrain is that we simply do not have enough text. The inscription is very brief, with no bilingual key or second copy. Without more samples of the script, any reading may remain uncertain. In practice, the disk's meaning and purpose are still open questions. In summary, the Phaistos Disk is an iconic relic of the Minoan world. It bears testament to a once great civilization, but it leaves us with a puzzle. Whether it encodes a sacred hymn, a lunar calendar, a game, or something else, no solution has won broad acceptance. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe so you won't miss new ones.